Hello, everybody. Welcome to a garden tour, late April. I will try to make this short. I am running out of daylight, but this is the best time for me to do this. So let's get on with it. I just love this tree. I never remember what it is, but it's the thing that blooms for us every year. There's also a magnolia back there, and there's another. This here is our fencing for deer deterrent and dog keeper inner. The apples are in. They all survived winter. No damage to the trunks. The pear has nice flowers there, so that's exciting. Although this is the only pear we lost. We lost the other one a couple years ago, and this is the last apple tree. We'll need a bit of trimming come fall. Other highlights that I tend to forget about are the comfrey coming back and the stinging nettle. And I gotta make a mental note to harvest those sooner than later. That's something I got from my mother-in-law. Our jugs of winter sown perennial flowers are doing okay. I just did a short on harvesting our asparagus. Check that out. I cooked some up for dinner. That was great. So we're working on more fencing for these areas because like that was a fig tree. It is no longer there because the dog dug it up. That was also a fig tree that actually made it through the winter, and then one day the dog decided to make a meal out of it. So I think it will come back from the bottom. So maybe next year we'll try again with that and get some more figs. All right, in this little bed, nothing new. These are old plants of turnips. It was kohlrabi, some colored and newly planted, something dug in there. Artichoke. Let's hope for a better success with artichokes this year. Something I don't highlight very often are some of the flowers that have been here and come back year after year. This is a bleeding heart. So beautiful, so beautiful. Have to get more of them. I know there's another one like back in the bushes there, and I'd like to transplant that if I find it again. Now this bed is going to be revamped or demolished completely, so I got to take these bags out of here. But they are heavy, so I need to do that on a weekend when I have help. Only one of the celery, there were 3 or 4, only one made it through the winter, but the dog also got in here. And I had hoped that the leeks had self-seeded, but with all the disturbance of the soil, I wouldn't even know if that took or not. Now over here, I revamped this a little bit. I made sure to put netting on it so the dog doesn't bother these plants. So I have more containers here. We have a squirrel probably digging that up. But these two are my sunchokes. Yes, they are coming in nice and slow. And there's some weeds in there already. This is celery, and I think this is celeriac. And then I have a few containers of leeks. And then this container also has sunchokes. There's one poking out there, and the one on this side, I don't see any activity yet, but I expect to. If not, I will plant something else in there, like a brassica or something. This is also a major project that I need to get to. The dog has been digging through this space. It's also way too big. I was never able to fully utilize this because it's so wide. Half of it is underneath this juniper, I think it is. So it was just wasted space. So I got some beds, Amazon, $60. I couldn't afford the big beds that I normally get, so it was the cheaper ones, but it's metal. So I'm gonna pretty much cut this bed in half. That way most of the plants will get sun. I'll have extra dirt to use. I think it's a win-win. I'm thinking of repurposing these. These were some balcony railings. I'm thinking to repurpose this as part of the dog deterrent. We'll see how that goes. But there are, that's like kale And those are collards. The collards are phenomenal. Look at that giant hole the dog dug. Now in here, a second sowing of carrots. Can't see them. Also a second sowing of peas. Now I don't know what happened to the peas because they were successful in the other spot that I had planted them, but in this container, nothing. But the carrots, I left the bin open overnight and the dog just dug it all out. So we might have volunteer floor carrots at some point. But yeah, you can see some coming up. I don't know if this is very good seeding. Like I'd overseeded. And I was hoping I'd have more. Like there's a lot of patchy spaces. So I might have to seed again. The daffodils are on their way out in some places. Like this is one of the first daffodil that comes up. But I think this is muscari. I think it's wild too, or somebody else planted it at some point and it was relocated. Looks so beautiful. The ones I planted are just establishing, so they're not nearly as nice as these yet. All right, this bed is a work in progress. Now see, there's another one that got transplanted. One of those flowers. The rhubarb slowly coming in. This is snapdragons. I don't know if they come back, but there are new snapdragons in here that I sowed last year. So I was hoping those would be still here. I don't know. Also, the foxgloves, are those done now? Because the foxgloves in the front are fine. So I thought the foxgloves would come back as well. So we'll have to see about that. If we're familiar with this area, it's the it's the round semicircle that I have asparagus planted all around. Can I focus on it? There's one. They're like every 1.5 feet apart or so, depending on if something survived or not. And then the rest is just wild. There is also this cherry. I believe it's the Bing cherry. There's two. There's one. And the other one's over here. They did flower. This one had a pink flower and the other one had a white flower. So that's exciting. And what else is in here? Nothing yet. You can go back to my channel in the past and see them through the years. This is my main rhubarb patch. This one's doing really well. That one's really like nice and clumpy. And I have to put fencing here. My other two artichokes and my really girthy, get you close up there, really girthy, it's over 1 inch wide, that asparagus. So I planted like 8 asparagus plants here at some point, and only these 3 have managed to survive. But I did put some more seeds in, so I might be replenishing my asparagus patch over here. Also in the back, I don't know if you can see them amongst the other weeds, but there are peas planted in the back there. This is the most successful I've gotten so far with the peas. Oh, the dog's off chasing birds. Now here, those main beds have not moved much. The main change is the fence and the grow bags, which I'm going to be putting the grow bags that are down there, more of them up here. Now these bags have a variety of things that are cold hardy. So this is arugula on this side, mizuna on this side. And they are coming up. You can see some greenery. This bag has various choys, bok choy, pak choy, tat soy. I just call them choys. This has radish. This one is beets. Can't see them yet, but they're coming. And then these two I just planted potatoes in, so you're not going to see anything yet. Oh, there's one poking out. But the other ones are still... Here's another one. So there's 3 in these bags. These are 20-gallon. Obviously, they're not filled up all the way, so they're not exactly holding 20 gallons worth of soil. Spinach is doing really well over there. And for some reason, Swiss chard is so slow. It's the same in my seeding system too. I thought they would be way faster than the spinach, but they're coming along. So I weeded this bed more or less. There's like a tulip plant over there. I'm not sure what that is, so I left it to see what it would grow into because I don't see it anywhere else in the yard. I did plant some garlic here back in November, so they're supposed to deter stuff. Here's more garlic. This bed is empty right now. Haven't done anything there, and the same here with the garlic. And then I left Brussels sprouts just because they're green, and I'll feed them to the chickens when the time comes. But I also threw seeds of sorrel, red vein sorrel, and they're coming up because this red vein sorrel plant was here for like 2 or 3 years before it finally gave up the ghost. So I figured I'd reseed that area. Nothing has happened here at all. I have a lot of weeding to do. Obviously I put up a fence. Ugh, yeah, weed. Other than the garlic's looking good, and obviously chard, and the Brussels sprouts. There's one Brussels sprout remaining over there. Here's another angle of the garlic and some of the greens. Here is my blueberry alley. I've got nice flowers on some. Barely any movement on others, but some of them are new. I did lose a couple. I saw the dog dig it up, so I don't know if it was already dead, so she took it out of the bag, or if she's the one who killed it, because she didn't touch any of the other ones, so it could have just died over winter. So I'm going to try to take good care of these. I have an empty container there with soil in it. I have to figure out what I can plant there that the dog won't dig up, or somehow fence it in. So sadly, over in the chicken coop, we lost one of our oldest chicken. I don't know if she had a fight with another chicken. I don't know why there's so much feather loss, but she was old, so that's okay. I was expecting her to go any time anyway. So 14, down to 14. So back on the patio, we have a container of strawberries that really need to be lifted. I lost so much soil here. This one's in better shape, but we got quite a bit of weeds. And then this one, I have one remaining galleta strawberry. And then I planted, at least I hope I planted, because that seems to be a hole where a plant should be, more potatoes in there. Here's a little container that I seeded with lettuce. And then once that pops up, I'll do another round in this one. And we'll try to do that succession thing. The green stalk I cleaned up. I divided strawberries, which might have killed them, but they might have been dead already, so we shall see. There's some life. And then I have just one pocket empty because I'm waiting for frost to be finished before I put anything in there. But this has winter savory. I'm hoping that makes it. Otherwise, I will also reseed. And then in the other pockets, I have greens, the choys again, every other pocket, and then borage in the other pocket that doesn't have the choys. And then at the bottom, I have onions because I have so much onions. And over here is my main onion growing area. There's about 50 maybe onions here. We've got the red Wethersfield, the yellow Utah, and the Ailsa Craig. And in this container, I haven't decided what to put in. I'm probably going to put some chives in there also. It's a deep container, so I should put something with a longer taproot in there, right? This strawberry container is doing so nicely. I cleaned that up really good. And then my makeshift greenhouse is holding up well. Some of the plants got sun scorched, but I have plenty of celery, so I'm not really all that upset about it. My sale, I also did some marigolds down there, a Mexican mint, and borage. And yeah, I'll sell some and I'll keep some. These are my containers for my rice growing, hashtag 2025 rice challenge. This is going to be the equivalent for the 5-gallon bucket, and then whatever other seeds will go into this one and that one. And this bed is a work in progress. Trying to get some fencing situation going on here. Our, what is this, yarrow's coming back beautifully. This area usually houses my basil, so I'm going to do that again this year. Although we are getting a cover crop of some kind of green, which I'm going to keep here because I can eat it and the chickens will eat it. We have a collard doing nicely over there. And then these plants, not that one, that one's a weed. These look like foxgloves, so we should get flowers out of them. There's a sage right there. I dug up an asparagus that I put in the other patch. That should be a Sweet William, and that's my feverfew. Very excited to see that come back. Here's more yarrow. And in this bed I just planted this morning, we have fennel, 1, 2. I got a parsley way over there, and then I got dill, 1, 2. And I can't put much over here because the yarrow really shades out that space. But if I find some perennial from one of my winter sowing jugs that will take that space, then I will put it there. Because that's what I want this area primarily to be, is perennials that I don't have to touch much. And I think the last area is this one. These daffodils were here already, but I planted a bunch of whatever this is and that. Muscari and something else. The other daffs have not come in yet. There'll be a later spring bloom, so that's cool. But this is definitely much more filled out than it had been in the past. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. There was quite a bit of trimming on those bushes there. There's Rose of Sharon's and some other stuff. I still have to trim down this lemon balm. Not lemon balm. Bergamot, bee balm. I'm not sure if those are interchangeable or completely different plants. This is lemon balm. Look how nice and bushy it is. I know it's going to take over, and that's okay for the most part. And then on this side is our usual reseeding calendula. So many. So excited. We have some more muscaris behind the fencing here, so the dog doesn't keep digging them up. And the saffron is kind of buried in the nonsense. I'll have to come through, figure something out about this. They're getting smashed. And then we have surviving strawberries that need to be cleaned up. I think this is, I'm hoping this is marshmallow because it looks like hollyhock, which it could be. No, it is hollyhock. This stem is hollyhock. So the hollyhock are coming back. I think that's another one. I'm still trying my hardest to get some marshmallow plants going. But the strawberries have made it in their containers. This container got taken out by the dog, so it ended up in the ground. Here's another good container. So those still need to be cleaned up. And then I'm expecting, oh, look at that. I think that was a runner. That is very nicely rooted in there. That's good. And the self-seeding hollyhocks are doing a good job of doing what they're supposed to. Now this stuff is a weed to me. They send those, once it dries up, the seeds, they just jump up everywhere. Is it like a tick weed or something like that? So I gotta get those pulled before they seed again. Actually, last on the outside are the grapes. This one did not make it, but the other one did. We got buds. So that looks good. A fast little tour of the basement grow area. And we got all the tomatoes in. The peppers were set back, so they're taking a little bit of a while to get going. Also the eggplant, which I had planted at the same time as the peppers. Otherwise, what else is in here? I think everything is tomatoes and peppers in here. I had moved some stuff like outside, so there's a little bit of space for the summer plants to start being incorporated. But other than that, that's how we're doing here. We have a bit of overflow upstairs. Those are all peppers. This is a mishmash tomatoes. That is my chia. Really needs to go outside, but it's still a while before we can do that. Here, hardening off, are my brassicas, my herbs, a few of the extra tomatoes that I didn't care whether I lost them to a cold spell or not. See, I knew there was something coming up in here because there's a pea in my brassicas, which I did not plant, not even close. So something planted that there and that came up. I really need to pull that out if I want that to survive. I also have some spinach. These were sown just recently. Spinach here and Swiss chard, and the chives are so slow to come up and not all that well either. This is a clematis, and that is a, what is that? Lakemont, seedless Lakemont grape that I picked up to replace the one I lost. Another area that's going to be taking up more and more plants. This is basil. I still have half a pack to a pot. So these are where they're going to live for a little while until they're ready to harden off. And then I have racks and racks that I can fill up with an assortment of other goodies. Oh, up here is the sweet potato that decided to come up in like February. So I put it in soil and I have just been trying to keep it alive. You can see it's been so hot up here because we had the wood stove, and it's been really hard to keep the water from evaporating so fast. So I haven't lost anything. It's just that a lot of drying up leaves, but plenty of greens to transplant in a month or so. And the last update on the indoors is an assortment of potatoes. This was like an experiment of taking the chit off of a potato and just planting it. So I have run out of space for these potatoes. They have vined out like way 4 feet long. And also ginger. The ginger is doing really well actually. It only started producing these extra shoots more recently. So this one's been around for a while and it's growing up very tall. I'm having a hard time with this because it's hard to rotate now that the potatoes are all over the place. So this is like leaning towards the window so much. But hopefully I'll be able to put this out soon. It will be interesting because I have to flip this all over, empty it out, and transplant the ginger. As you can see, the hair has dried up and increased in size. But look at this, more importantly, how beautiful the magnolia has bloomed. We had a good spring. But that's it for me and this month end tour. Expect one next month and the following as we get growing here in Zone 6, New York. All right, talk to y'all again soon. So we'll harvest more.